What's up everyone, Alan Thrall here with my boy Silent Mike. We're at Untamed Strength in Sacramento, California. Today we're going to be talking about the deadlift. Some people say that the meat doesn't start until the barbell hits the floor. We're going to cover some tips, maybe some common errors that's going to help you build a bigger deadlift. So first and foremost, you have to be sure that you're in the correct starting position. Where you start is going to affect the entire pull, and the correct starting position is barbell over the middle of your foot. As a demonstration, if Mike were to stand up with an empty barbell in his hands and we were to load a couple hundred pounds on that barbell and he had to hold it there for an entire minute, he would hold the barbell directly over the middle of his foot for obvious reasons. That's where he's most balanced. He's not gonna hold it over his toes and he's not gonna hold it back over his heels. So if we stand up and hold the deadlift at the top over the middle of our foot, you wanna start with the barbell over the middle of your foot. The most efficient way to get from point A to point B is in a straight line. A common error I see is people starting with the barbell too out in front of them over their toes. That's gonna lead to the barbell swinging towards their body as they stand up, or they start with their hips way too high, the barbell's pulled back over their heel, and once it breaks off the ground, the barbell swings out away from them. So be sure that with every single rep, you start with the barbell directly over your entire foot, not just the part that you can see.
Technique in the deadlift is super important for obvious reasons. The deadlift gets a bad rap of potentially being dangerous or snapping up your back, going to Snap City, whatever you guys want to say. But all lifting with heavy weights and trying to improve yourself in the gym holds some danger. Deadlifting gets a really bad rap in the gym for being dangerous and potentially hurting your low back. But it's actually the best way to strengthen your low back, fix posture, and build more muscle throughout your whole body. It is the one exercise that works the most muscles out of any exercise in the gym. We're gonna go over two different common mistakes that we see and then how to fix them. One of the most common mistakes in the deadlift is having your hips in the wrong position or shoot up too early. This simply means that you're not getting tension at the bottom. The starting position, as Alan said, is the most important. Getting tension in your hamstrings and a tight low back while also getting your weight behind the bar. You want to make sure that you're deadlifting the bar up and not trying to squat it. So that comes back to having the tension in your hamstrings and body weight behind the bar, body weight falling backwards. Like Alan said, you want that weight, the barbell, over your midfoot throughout the entire beginning through the end lockout of the deadlift. But you also want that bar in contact with your skin, with your legs. The further the bar creeps away from you, the heavier it gets exponentially. A couple ways to do that is one, same as hips shooting up too early, you want your body weight falling back, keeping that barbell close to you. But number two is really flexing your lats. Now we can do this many ways, but a good couple cues is to really screw your shoulder and try to cover your armpit, pulling that bar into you like an old school cable lat pull down. Another cue to flex the lats is bending that barbell over your legs and trying to get your elbows turned back close to your hips. Again, this will keep that barbell close to your body, flexing your lats, which will stabilize your spine, and keep that barbell close to you so you can lift optimal amounts of weight.
And lastly, I want you to make sure that you're pulling the slack out of the barbell and you're creating tension off the floor. A huge mistake that I often see is people trying to go beast mode on the bar, just resorting to intensity, and they have their technique completely goes down the window. They bend their arms and they jerk on the bar as hard as they can. This is usually gonna throw you out of position. It's gonna cause some elbow problems. You might pop a bicep. There's a number of reasons. You need to slow down, make sure your technique is spot on, and you're pulling the slack out of the bar. When someone has a tendency to bend the elbows and jerk on the barbell with their hands, I'll often tell them to make sure that their arms are straight. Their arms are cables connecting their body to the barbell. I might tell them if they pull with bent elbows to flex their triceps, or like Mike talked about, turn your elbows in towards your body. A cue that works for me is to ensure you are feeling heavy in your hands before you pull on the barbell. Try to squeeze the bar off the ground rather than jerk it off the ground as hard as you can. My favorite deadlift variation for reinforcing all these tips, techniques, and cues that we talked about for this video are pause deadlifts. It's very difficult to jerk a bar off the ground and then immediately pause it. You have to squeeze the barbell off the ground a little bit slower than you might like. You also have to pause the barbell over the middle of your foot because it's extremely difficult to hold a heavy barbell out over your toes. It's also going to reinforce pulling the barbell in a vertical and straight line and avoiding what Mike talked about with swinging the barbell out away from your body.
Implementing the pause deadlift, typically we'll recommend doing one main competition style deadlift day and then adding another day of the pause deadlift, maybe 3 days later, cutting your week in half. Typically recommend 3 to 4 sets, anywhere from 3 to maybe 8 reps, using 50 to maybe on the maximum end 70% of your 1 rep max of your competition deadlift for the pause deadlift. Once again, we want to thank bodybuilding.com for having us on the channel. If you guys want to see more from Alan and myself, our links are in the description. Also in the description is the awesome articles and supplement store from bodybuilding.com. Check out all the latest videos above, and we'll catch you guys next time. Appreciate it.